Hello and welcome to my final video for my final year project. My name is Mark Hogan and I developed a FPV drone game for my final year project. So, to briefly explain what my game is about, I developed a first-person view drone game where you have 3 separate game modes. You have stunt, racing and target tracking. So, some of the features I will be covering in this video that I've implemented into my game will include procedural generation, multiplayer, drone physics and controls, performance optimization, modeling, adaptive audio, and UI. So let's get right into it. First of all, I will show you the 3 separate game modes that I've built. So first off, I will show you the controls. So currently I have a PlayStation 5 controller plugged in. And what I'm doing essentially is with the left stick, when you move the left stick up, it is the throttle for the drone. So it makes it fly. The more you push it, the faster it'll go. Then with the left stick again, if you turn left or right, it will rotate the drone horizontally. And then with the right stick, all you do is you rotate the drone. So right stick forward rotates the drone forward and back. And then the right stick to the left rotates the drone left or right. These controls are based on realistic FYP drones. So the drone moves by using the rigid body, and I'm essentially adding a force to the drone. And the more I'm using Unity's input system that allows me to get the exact value for how much the left stick is being pushed, and by that I can add more or less force to the drone when it is moving. I'm also using the rigid body to apply drag, so when you let go, the drone moves forward and doesn't just stop in the one spot. And this also allows for the gravity as well. So I also have a option screen, and if you click on the settings, players can mess around with. So sensitivity would be how fast you can rotate the drone with the analog stick. Speed is how fast the throttle will be. Drag is how far the drone will be thrown, essentially. So if I put it down to 1 and go back, resume, as you see, the drone goes a little bit further forward. So if I go back to my settings, you can see the camera tilt. So on FPV drones, the camera is usually tilted upwards so that you're looking forward when you're flying forward. So players can adjust that as well. So then to start off, I can show you the stunt mode. So you go from the home screen to race and then click on stunt. The player is then met with a countdown and a go. Once the hits go, the player can fly around. So first off, this is a point system. So the player must perform certain actions, like if you do a flip, you can see in the bottom middle of the screen, it'll tell you what you're doing. So flip, you can do barrel roll, you can do a tornado flip. Ground kiss is when you get too low to the ground. So as you can see, when you do a combo, so a barrel roll and a flip, it will add to the multiplier. So that's essentially a combo. So when you do multiple tricks, it will add to the multiplier. The normal tricks, like a flip, will just add points, as you can see. So in the yellow section, that is the score to add. And what happens is, if you do a series of tricks, the score will go up. And what will happen is, it will then get added once you are completed with your series of tricks. It will get added to the player's score, which is shown in the dark blue on the bottom. Now, let's say you were to do a trick. That score to add would not get added if you hit off a wall. It won't add it to the score. So it entices players not to be hitting off of obstacles, essentially. So the entire trick system is done by monitoring the rigid body, which is applied onto the drone. It has a system where it checks for each and every trick that I have. So like for instance, threading the needle will be, as you can see there in the middle, it will be getting close to objects. So going through here, you can see threading the needle, and so I'm monitoring the drone rotation. So barrel roll, flips, tornado flip then is just a combination again. And once there's a combo, of course, it increases the multiplier, which adds to the score. So also, everything in this scene I've built myself using Autodesk Maya. All the models I have built myself. And this is the game mode I've chosen to apply the multiplier to. So then to showcase the race mode, I will join the race mode there now. These are just basic on-screen mobile controls, but the game is mainly played on PC. So you're met with a countdown again and a go, and then in this game mode you have a timer, so you're being timed how long it takes you to race. The green checkpoints are essentially the checkpoints that you have to fly through next, as you can see. Each checkpoint is then displayed as you are flying. So in this game mode, the land is procedurally generated. This is done by using a noise map that I am generating using Perlin Noise, and then that is applied to the Unity terrain component, which is applied to this terrain. So then the race itself is a spline, which is another package Unity provides. Splines are essentially a line, and you can manipulate the different points on the line, and by doing so the line will automatically move through those points smoothly, creating what is for me a smooth race course essentially. So if I fly around, you can see the spline is randomly squiggled all the way around. This allows for a different experience every time the player flies, and each point along the squiggle is within a constraint of the checkpoint before it. So as you can see, the first green checkpoint here and the grey one after it isn't that far apart from each other, so that it's possible to go between each checkpoint without having to fly too far essentially. There is also a post-processing and occlusion culling. So the post-processing is essentially the lighting in the scene, and the post-processing or the occlusion culling is, you can actually kind of see it in the distance, small bit glitchy, but it essentially only displays what the player is looking at. So it won't render anything in from behind the player. So as you can see, the terrain is also colored based on height. So the higher up it is, so you have snow on the top of mountains, then it goes down to rock, then grass, and then dirt, of course. And as you can see, the terrain around the spline is raised up within a certain distance of the spline. This allows for a path to be generated for the player to follow along. The path is also colored in within a circle and is drawn all the way around to indicate for the player the path ahead. As you can see the line renderer, which shows off the path itself. And then for the last game mode, the target tracking. In the target tracking, I've used the same layout, procedurally generated terrain, and essentially in this game mode, what you have to do is you follow this car all the way around the track, and you have to keep within a certain distance of the car, and the closer you are, the more points you get. As you can see on the distance meter on the bottom, you can see how many points you get depending on how close you are to the car, which are then added accordingly to the player's score down below. there's also a timer in the middle of the screen, and you have to gather as much points as you can before that timer runs out. So then, to showcase the multiplayer and how the menus work, I'm utilizing Unity's new feature where you can have two separate editors. So I have player 2 and player 1 is the main editor. So on player 2, I'm just going to host a session, call it session, and create that. And it'll give you a code and a player name. Then in the main editor, player 1, I will go to sessions and refresh this, and there it is. So you have a session here, and if you click on it and join, you can join the player and play with them in the stunt mode. I will show you me playing with my brother next. So as you can see, I've loaded into the scene with the other player. As you can see, there is my brother actually who joined in. So he's just staying in the one spot for a second. So as you can see my brother flying around. He's just going into the center building here, and he's just going to fly around to showcase that the other player is also in the scene and we can play multiplayer together. So then, just to walk through how the multiplayer actually works, I'm using a netcode package that comes with Unity. This essentially handles the object synchronization and ownership, which controls how the multiplayer works. So it does this by using Unity Transport, UTP, which is a low-level networking layer, and it essentially it's reliable ordered data transport. Then I'm also using the Unity Cloud Services, which provide lobbies and relays. So lobbies are essentially you can host a lobby. The player will host and create a lobby, and then a relay is set up. And what relays are essentially tunnels for clients to bypass, like firewalls and NAT type, to be able to join a player essentially. So netcode provides certain scripts within the package that allow for network objects. So you can create network objects with using the network manager, which instantiates the players once the server is created, and for every client that joins, it will instantiate the network object being the player, and then it will use the Unity transport system to send the transform data for the drone across all the clients and the host using the relay system, which connects all the lobbies using a code. Now, as you can see in my game, when you start a session, if I just start one, create, you can see there is a code up at the top, but you can also join, like I've shown you before, using you can use the sessions list. I have also modeled most of the assets myself. So as you can see, the main menu room, the drone itself, and the construction site. And I've also modeled the DeLorean, but I modeled that about a year ago, and I decided to reuse it in my game. Okay, thanks for watching. The conclusion is that this has been a very amazing experience. I've learned quite a lot from developing this game, from procedural generation, how to do multiplayer, working with splines, terrain, drone physics, down to learning new ways and different ways of coding in C#. I feel very confident with using Unity now because of this project. Even modeling, I've gotten a lot better at modeling, and I had a lot of fun with this project. So thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed. Bye.